My fellow Biafrans, in today's story, we face the harsh reality of life in Nigeria. A story that is not just about one man, but about the fear that grieves many families. A story of faith tested in the darkest valley.
Welcome to this channel, Global Happenstance. Here we react, reflect, and respond to the world's most viral videos and global trading events. From shocking headlines to inspiring moments, we break it all down, one reaction at a time. Stay tuned and don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe.
A heartbreaking betrayal of hope. Reverend James Audu Issa of ECWA was adopted, ransom paid, then murdered by terrorists in Kwara State. This is yet another gruesome example of ransom for murder tactics terrorizing communities. Tragedy deepens in Kwara. Reverend James Audu Issa, an ECWA pastor from Ekati village in Patigi local government, was adopted by terrorists on August 28. Though his family paid 5 million in ransom, his captors later upped their demand. My fellow Biafrans, in today's story, we face the harsh reality of life in Nigeria. A story that is not just about one man, but about the fear that grieves many families. A story of faith tested in the darkest valley. This has happened many a times in the southeast, but no one is covering this story. Thousands are missing in the forest. Thousands of families, people are weeping because of this type of story. Stay with me as we uncover the tragic tale of a pastor kidnapped and the lesson it leaves behind. My brothers and sisters, this is a story that pierces the heart. A pastor, a servant of God, was taken from his people by armed men. His family struggled. They sacrificed and they raised 5 million naira to buy his freedom in a country called Nigeria. The ransom was delivered with trembling hands and desperate prayers, hoping that at last he would be released. But instead of mercy, there was betrayal. The kidnappers, hardened by greed, raised their demand. They now wanted an additional 45 million, equivalent to 30,000 US dollars. The family was broken. Where could they find such sum? Before another word could be spoken, before another prayer could be answered, the pastor was brutally killed. This was not just the death of one man, it was the shattering of a family, a wound in a community, and a chilling reminder of how far the darkness of violence can reach. My brothers and sisters, as we tell this story, let us not only weep, but let us reflect on the state of our society, where the value of a man's life is measured in money, and where the cries of the innocent are silenced by greed. May his soul rest in peace, and may justice one day speak louder than the guns of his killer. Sadly, this is not just an isolated case. Kidnapping for ransom have become a plague across Nigeria. From school children to pastors, from farmers to traders, raping women, and they insert sticks into their private parts. No one is truly safe. Reports say millions of dollars are demanded each year. And for many families, the choice is heartbreaking. Pay the ransom or lose a loved one forever. These criminal groups have learned that human life can be turned into business, and in this cruel business, the poor suffer the most. When news of the pastor's death spread, the community fell silent. The church members wept. Leaders spoke out in pain. Questions rose. How could this happen to a man who gave his life to serve God? Why? Question rose. How could this happen to a man who gave his life to serve God? Why does evil seem to triumph over evil? Some said we prayed, but the answer was death. Others whispered, who will be next? Fear mixed with grief, and grief turned into anger. Yet, in the midst of this, one truth remained. The pastor's faith and sacrifice will not be forgotten. My brothers and sisters, the Bible tells us in John 16:33, in this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. That means Nigeria as a country has come to an end. This story reminds us that life on earth is not without pain, but even in tragedy, God's words gives hope. The blood of the righteous is not wasted. The pastor may have fallen to violence, but his faith stands as a testimony that darkness cannot extinguish light. This is a call to action. Listen carefully. So what can we learn? First, our society must rise against injustice. Stand firm, stand on your ground. Speak out. Second, our prayer must go beyond comfort. They must cry for change. A change that means the disintegration of the country called Nigeria. Every tribe must go to their separate ways. Biafra is a nation. And third, we must never forget the names and faces of those who suffer in silence. Brethren, let us honor this pastor's life with a prayer that his soul rests in an eternal peace, that his family finds comfort, and that someday the guns of the terrorists will be silenced forever. Please subscribe. That will encourage me to bring more news. That his soul rests in eternal peace, that his family finds comfort, and that someday the guns of the terrorists will be silenced forever. Say, please subscribe to my channel. That will encourage me to bring more news. Support me, and thanks for watching.